What's going on, y'all? I'm your boy, The Media Prince, and we are back for another episode of Conversations with The Media Prince, where I get to dive into some dynamic people's stories who are helping shape the culture. And like no other, I have some dynamic guests here. Two pillars, two icons, if I must say that. They are creating not only infrastructure, but they are cultivating opportunities for our area here. These two gentlemen go without saying, they are the GOATs, the one, the only, Ian Callender, and my brother, Kevin, Uncle Scooty Hallums. How are you, brothers?
I
want to first thank you guys because it's been a dream as Media Prince to tap into you GOATs' story. I think you guys are, like I said before, pillars here. And you guys are really shaping the culture in like major dynamic ways. And just like me, creatives alike, they feast for your story because you guys have pieces of puzzles that can help put somebody on their journey. So I'm excited that I get to talk to you guys tonight. So individually, you guys have come to an arena where you're helping shape culture. But take us back. What was that walk like getting to that point?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the, safest story is neighborhood. We were, neighborhood friends. We grew up in the church together, Reed Temple AME Church. Played ball for the Carrollton Boys and Girls Club. And all of our friends in the neighborhood, we all had the same kind of attraction to each other, just through the families that we wove in and out of back in the day. And that's when the friendship started, you know what I'm saying, like 30 some years ago. And didn't really, I guess, fold back into what it is now until we both got back to the city. You went to New Jersey for a little bit, and then he started doing his thing, being a magician and kicking Recess's ass, because Recess was a staple in its own, and I was doing the blind wino thing, and God wanted to put us together to, mold it all in one.
Yeah, definitely, different, layers to our friendship and, like our journey. We definitely, we met in the church when we were younger. At that time, Ian was already living in the area where the church was. And then I would soon follow. So then we ended up in that area, and then we started, like another chapter. So it was like the church, then it was like, like the outside of the church, and then we had that for a few years. But because we went to several high schools, the connection was always still there, but it wasn't like, almost as close. I want to say like probably like our last 2 years, maybe like our junior and senior years of high school. And then obviously, like we both, went our separate ways when it comes to college. But we both had a love for sneakers. In that particular culture. So that was just kind of like another, like part of the story. And then, that connection led into something else. And once, Ian started with the sneaker suite, and I started, came back from New Jersey. I was there for about 2.5 years studying marketing and branding, and wanting to enter the accessory design program at FIT to learn how to make sneakers. Like that was like another, like connection for us. So when I came back home, I had a clothing line and was trying to figure out the pop-up scene, which did not exist. If I made a mistake and somebody did a pop-up before I did, let me know. But we're talking about 2007, and Ian had an alignment to a lot of different sponsors, the same way that he does now, and the reason why a lot of people call him. Ian had the alignment to the sponsorships, and we were able to put an event together in Scion when Toyota had that. I don't even know what to even call it, but part, subsidiary of Toyota. that was more based around like the creators and creative community. He was able then to get some funds together for us to be able to, to have our first pop-up at District 51 on Georgia Avenue. So I never tapped out. You know, I mean, when I was in New Jersey, I was there focused on, this is my third, fourth stint in school. So it was really like business, you know, like when I first left for college right out of high school, that's like the real school experience, you know, you staying on campus, you know, when I was in New Jersey, I was a grown up, you know what I'm saying? Like real life bills, you know what I'm saying? Like my own place, like shit was real. And so that was more business. And so I was still coming home on the weekends. A lot of people didn't even know that I had even moved. So I had never, you know what I'm saying, like lost, you know what I'm saying, like a moment, you know what I'm saying, like a time. I still was seeing everything that was happening. The only thing that was different was I was evolving and I was starting to see stuff more from the outside looking in versus wanting to always be on the scene and be a part of what's happening. Now we're transitioning to the space where I think that we're starting to be the ones that are making things happen.
Mm-hmm. What would you say, because individually you guys are both doing impactful things before you connected together. In your individual walks, how did you know there was a need for what you were already working on?
I think just the one thing that I personally wanted to do around the sneaker culture was the one need that I think people like me didn't have, and that was access to engaging with others who were sneaker aficionados and you know, those that stood in line overnight for multiple days. Like back then, we were not the cool kids. We were the corny kids. Like we were the looking at them niggas in the, you know, standing in line for, you know, for whatever shoes and da-da-da-da. And I think that I wanted to create a community around that to help myself. And then it evolved into other industries like fashion with Hofe, and then automotive with Scion, and then ultimately wine and spirits, which led to, you know, a lot of corporate funding to fill voids in those specific scenes. Like we were probably one of the first to do like a dinner party, you know what I'm saying? Like with celeb talent. And these are just people that are coming in and out of DC looking for something to do, you know, and it just blossomed from that. So at that point, I knew that my goal or my passion was to just fill voids or fill gaps that didn't exist for our culture and our community.
What about you?
I mean, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, like the same things, you know what I'm saying, like that Ian mentioned, you know what I'm saying, like I can echo the same things, just because for so long, you know what I'm saying, we were running parallel, you know what I'm saying, like with each other. And then, you know what I'm saying, like kind of like what we're going to get to, you know what I'm saying, like it just kind of makes sense, like, man, like why don't we just open up something together? Like we keep, because we're constantly, you know what I'm saying, like in the same rooms, even now to this day, right? I may get invited to something and I might have just talked to him 30 minutes ago, and then he'll end up in the same room for you know what I'm saying, for a different reason. So for us, it's just like, man, at some point, you know what I'm saying, like we just gotta just come together just to make it make sense. Like,
yeah. I was saying this off camera, it's dope to see you guys as brotherhood, because this is also too something that we kind of see but don't always see in this realm of creating and organizing two black men, top of their game, really supporting each other to be their best, as well as creating something that's going to bring the best of others. I wanted to tap into that brotherhood experience, because you're also examples of what that looks like. How important was that for you with collaborating this, making sure that the message prevailed that we got each other's back and this is a brotherhood, this is what it's supposed to look like, this is how we get things done?
I don't think I know that, like that we're brothers, but I don't think I go into a situation thinking like that. I think that it's just something that just happens naturally. Like, like I naturally have his back because it's my brother. I don't think that anybody, if we were real blood brothers, I don't, like you living in a house, like, and somebody come over and it's like who all over there? Like, I mean, just the same people that live here, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a natural thing, for us, to be the same way that we've always been. Like I said, like Ian mentioned the fact that we met each other, playing basketball, that's a team sport. You know what I mean? So like from the first moment that we've met, we've always been a team up and, to this day. So it's just something that is just natural and not taking, like away from, because people look at us in different ways for different reasons. They can either look at us and see the brotherhood and the camaraderie, or they can look at it from a business perspective and saying two people who were at the height of their own businesses were able to come together and collaborate on something. So I think that, like it's all in, like how the people and how they perceive it, but we're just doing the same thing that we've been doing.
The key takeaway, it's like, yes, the brotherhood exists, previous, current, future, but like we're still problem solvers at the end of the day, right? And I think that's ultimately what we try to do, and we can either solve a problem individually, which we both have done in our career, and we ultimately solve the problem collectively with the successes of Sandline and some of the other stuff that we've done, which a lot of folks probably don't even realize that we've done back in the day too. You know what I'm saying? So I think it should always just be looked at in that manner, because we want this to ultimately be a multiplier. Like it should always, especially in this area, it should always be a support system, and the blueprint should be shared across the table. It doesn't help if I'm keeping a blueprint to myself to see myself be successful. Like the success comes when we go together.
Right. And we of course we're going to have to dive into Sandlot, but before then, you guys each took a chance on yourselves to even go for what you were going for. Yeah. Can you talk to us about what was that process like, taking a chance and creating on your own? And then when did you notice in your journey, oh, this is working?
I mean, probably for me, just the first sneaker sweep party in 2005 at iBar. It was my birthday party, and again, like nobody really was celebrating the sneaker community at all, and you couldn't wear sneakers to get into the clubs back then. You had to wear, hard bottoms.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pointing to the hard bottoms so that we can get the get the close up on the hard bottoms. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to wear those, right? And just having conversations and relationships with club owners, Abdul and Mark Barnes and all those folks, to just say, hey, can you just give a day where people could wear sneakers and you ain't got to charge them $100 at the door? Tell Taz, just hold on to that cash. Just let people walk in freely, and not everybody that wears sneakers are thugs or somebody that's going to mess up your party. And then it caught on. We started doing stuff at Avenue with Abdul and Heben and the Andarji family and Henok. And it was hits. Wale would pull up, perform, like, a whole situation. And then Mark was like, shh, if Abdul doing it, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So we go over to Love and do it there. You know what I'm saying? Or Dream or whatever. I don't even remember which came first anymore. But that's when I realized that this is, again, filling a void and celebrating a culture that hasn't been celebrated. And then I said, well, let me just start trying different genres of industry. And it was just the same. It was just a domino effect. And then it got into the vacant properties. It was like, you know, we did one at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Crystal City. Before it was a Buffalo Wild Wings, it was nothing. And we did the same shit we doing today, back in 2008, 2009. So again, the blueprint never changed. And it's just something that I try to share with everybody. It's like, look, I'm doing the same shit I was doing back then. I'm just refining it a little better and bringing some of my friends along and doing it with cool folk, you know what I'm saying, so that they can now have the proper tools to do it themselves.
Yeah, I think for me it was it probably was probably when I came back, you know what I'm saying, from Jersey. Like, even, you know what I'm saying, like thinking about, you know what I'm saying, like how Ian, you know what I'm saying, like kind of got involved. I think that back then the creative community was extremely like lively. Like a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, like were starting to figure out, you know, their lane, but there was no organization to it, right? And somebody had to be the one to organize it all so that we could all end up in the same space. And I think that's where what Rock Creek Social Club ended up evolving to, you know, it being, you know what I'm saying, like the platform for everybody. And when I looked out into that crowd and I see, you know, the dude from DC, you know, wearing the Jordans, standing next to the guy who works on Capitol Hill, next to the hood hipster with the beat up Vans and the bike lock in the back of the skinny jeans, and they all dancing together, arm in arm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh shit, like we got something. Like, cause I can't name anybody else in the city at that time that could get all of those different people in one room and can show them, right, what the similarities are and what the you know, the middle grounds, you know what I'm saying, for a lot of them were, and then do it consistently and then continuing to evolve from that. We went from, you know, getting a percentage of the bar to owning our own spaces. You know, we went from, you know, doing ambassadorships and liquor sponsorships to owning our own brands. Like, you know, it was an evolution and constantly, you know what I'm saying, like maximizing on that space. And once that ball starts rolling, it's almost like this shit gotta work. You know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, at this point, you know, you have to make a decision. For me, my background is education. I was a dean of students. So I'm spending 12 hours a day at the school, and I had to make a decision on, was it going to be 12 hours a day here, you know, plus. I coached basketball, I coached cross country, I coached track. Am I going to continue to do this and then put everything else part-time, or am I going to make this the full-time thing and do, you know, the school thing the part-time thing? And I made the decision 2014, this year, June 13th, 2024, 10 years for me.
Hey, we gotta salute that. 10 years is a big deal. You guys are tapped into so many, you were speaking about it, so many different genres, and we're seeing it work. Does it ever get overwhelming having to be so tapped into culture now that you have tapped so many avenues of culture and it's working?
I'm overwhelmed for him.
I knew he was gonna say that shit. I knew he was gonna say that shit. Like, the answer is yes, but the answer is it's what I love, right? You know, it's like most people, I mean, I don't want to say LeBron, because LeBron's like, you know,
Bro, are you comparing yourself to LeBron?
I kind of am, but it's overwhelming only because I see that there is such a need in these specific genres. And it's like, I want to help, but I don't want to help if it's not necessary for me to help. So that keeps my gauge like kind of balanced, right? Especially if it's a genre that I don't really care for, you know what I'm saying? Like, but if it's something that affects the likeness of the city that we're from, and it's a opportunity again for me to duplicate something that has been done before or something that I've achieved in the past, then yeah, I can again like go in the archives and just be like, look, we did this shit 10 years ago, run this play. This might work. You know what I'm saying? So the genre thing, and I mean I'm a multi-genre lover too. Like I'm a chicken wing lover. Like listen, I was doing the events that I was doing back then were events that I wanted to do. And it caught on for other people to love the events, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't overwhelming for me because I was literally doing shit that I love, working with brands that I love, you know? So I guess that's...
I will say that's a truth. I think that we both have found a way to make a living off of the things that we were going to do anyway. You know, I was a Jameson ambassador for 8 years. I was drinking Jameson 2 years prior to them cutting me my first check. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, it's like, damn, these niggas really about to pay me to do some shit I was about to do anyway. I don't got to sell nothing. No, all I got to do is Instagram posts, check, and a budget. And I'm looking for sponsors? Oh man, sign me up. It's just like some things, you know what I'm saying, like they just make sense. And like owning, you know, the spaces, owning Sandlot, we talked about, I was doing events already at other people's spaces. So now I just do events in my home space.
Okay. I promise you guys we're about to get to the Sandlot question. How often do you guys reflect and like look back on how far you've come and how much you've been able to do?
Right. I mean, it's crazy because we're always looking ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't have time to sit and reflect because we're dealing with current that is going to affect the future. And maybe that's just negligence in a sense because it's like we don't. And I guess when we do, it's other people giving us a moment like yourself to allow us to reflect, which again we don't do as frequent as we should. But again, there's I don't want to say third world problems, but there's like so many other complications that we're focused most on to ensure that, you know, the comfort level of growth is super solid.
Yeah, I think that it's just, you know, I mean, anybody giving advice to people, you know what I'm saying, like definitely, you know, like you gotta give yourself, you know what I'm saying, like a pat on the back every now and then, you know, for the places that you've come from and the spaces that you've been able to infiltrate and, you know, the opportunities that you've been able to capitalize on and all of those things, right? Because not everybody, you know what I'm saying, like is able to do it. And, you know, but for us, I just think that, you know what I'm saying, like we are, you know what I'm saying, people that we just get so busy with our collective, you know, business and then all of the individual things that are happening. It's like, you know, even when you try to build in, you know what I'm saying, like those moments, sometimes it's like, damn, like, you know, running a little bit late or, you know, hey, we got to reschedule. And, you know what I'm saying, like, so then like, oh, and you looking at yourself, you know, it's that little box of time where you like, man, it's my time to give myself my flowers. But it's like, and that little hour that you were going to give yourself turns into 45 minutes because that meeting went over, and then it turned to 30 minutes because you were running a little bit late, and then another 30 minutes because another opportunity happened, and you can't let that opportunity pass you by because you've been waiting for this phone call. It's those type of things, and that just becomes like a reoccurring, like every single day, where it's like, damn, and then you get so far out, you like, shit, man, I ain't even. They're like, man, when last time you took a vacation? You like, oh man, like, check my phone. I'm like, I think I just had like a massage like last month and looked like, damn, that shit was 2 years ago. Like, serious. Like, not even joking. Like, that's like a real thing.
I'm glad you say that though, because there's a lot of people that are also like, damn, okay. It also makes you like relock in far as understanding what pieces to the puzzles you've actually contributed here. And that's why I love my show, because I get to give people like yourselves your flowers, because I'm honored I get to be here in the lifetime where I got to experience what you guys bring to the area. You get what I'm saying? There's gonna be stories that as I go on my journey, I'll be able to tell the next generation, oh, y'all missed out on this. These cats had the, you get what I'm saying? So I love the pendulum. It just keeps rotating, and I love what you guys have not only done for the city, but the doors you've opened for the city. And Sandlot DC is just that, opening doors and giving people opportunities and like raising, I guess we could take this out of Coach Stormy's book, raising the vibrations of the DC area. And it's expanded. It's Anacostia, we got Georgetown, we got Southwest, Tyson's. Like, that's a fucking big deal. Yeah. Take us back to day one, the launch. What was going through your head? What was that time? What was that mind frame like for you guys?
Day one was, we tell this story a lot, so I'm gonna make it super fast, but at this time, you know, we were still in that mode like when we first started, right? So I had a product, I had a clothing line. Ian was working with Major League Baseball for the All-Star game here in DC, and we were doing a collaboration with Under Armour, and I'm trying to build this idea around this collaboration and saying like, man, like what, you know, well, I never played baseball as a kid. Like, what do? I started watching a bunch of movies, which I typically do when I'm doing my research. And I came across The Sandlot. I've seen it a million times. I watched it again. And I'm like, oh shit, this movie was never about baseball. It was about this place that they would go to talk about what was happening in life. And it just so happened to be a, you know, baseball diamond field or whatever. And go to Ian, I'm like, listen, I got this idea. We gotta raise some capital. I gotta have this activation, got the clothes ready and everything. MLB comes back and said, we already have an activation that we want to incorporate everybody into. We don't need that idea. So I tell Ian, I'm like, parking lot it. We'll come back to that shit. Just put it away. We'll come back to that to that concept another time. And during this moment, we had Diet Starts Monday on 14th Street, and you know it was. You know, we're packed every night they were open, but we were on a sublease. So Marvin, the success of Rock Creek Social Club and Grocery Social opened the opportunity for us to do Diet Starts Monday next door to Marvin. But we were subleasing that space and we were subleasing that liquor license. Excuse me. And that lease was after 2 years. And I didn't think that we were going to stay, it was supposed to be a pop-up, I didn't think that we were going to stay open past 3 months. But we ended up staying for 2 years. Ian's like, listen, this shit is packed. What you gonna do when it closes? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, at this point, you've already opened up a space. We've already seen what it looks like to have a space. That energy has to go somewhere. And I was like, well, what are your thoughts? He was like, that Sandlot idea. And I was like, okay. He's like, that's not an activation, that's a space. And I was like, okay, where? And so he take me to Half Street, Southwest, and we're on Half Street on the same block as the East Side. Anybody know Backyard, the East Side, Southwest, 106, all that, you know what I'm saying? Like we're there. And I don't even realize that we're there because I don't come on that side of the city. So they done tore shit down. I don't know where I'm at. He like, dog, do you know where we at? I'm like, where? Like, bro, the East Side right there. I'm like, oh, damn, for real. He's like, this is space. And it was literally like a I don't even know, like a open like lot with a bunch of grass, trees, trash, like old tires, broken bottles and everything. He like, this is spot. I'm like, nah, this is not what I thought it was. Yeah. And he's like, nah, like just, you know, put your visionary hat on and imagine what we could turn this into. And I still didn't see it at the time. And he was like, come on, we went back to his crib, got a piece of paper. He was like, draw out what you envision that shit to look like. And so I drew it out, and we had our homeboy Zig, who's, you know what I'm saying, part of our team. He did an architectural design of what I had drawn on the piece of paper. I mean, almost like to a T, but made it look like the space that I was imagining. And Ian was like, yo, we're gonna build this shit. And that was 2018. Diet closed the last day of December 2018. And literally 3 months, March, we were fucking open, and Sandlot was jumping. And it wasn't the original drawing, but it was the start of something that, you know, I don't think that either one of us knew. Like, from there to here was not even a thought.
What has been the most rewarding part of creating Sandlot so far?
The fact that it was not supposed to be this way. Like, we didn't plan for success with Sandlot in this magnitude. When we did that first location, it was just again one location that we had the capacity to pour our blood, sweat, and tears into, with, you know, all the other stuff that we had going on. And, you know, we did the 1 year, and then the Nats won the World Series, and then XFL came to Audi Field. We partnered with them, and we used to have 500-600 people at all of the home games, and then COVID happened. So 1 full season, and then we were just like, well, that was fun. You know what I'm saying? We got some good sponsor money out of it. A little bit of cash went in and a little bit of cash went out, but ain't nobody lose no lives, and ain't lose no houses, ain't nobody go bankrupt. And I think we wanted to keep it going, but ultimately at that point it was just like, man, this was fun. I remember the video, you know, and we was just like, man, I was, you know, we was trying to make this a staple, but because of COVID and because of the developer expediting his, you know, desire to redevelop the set of warehouses that we were at, it's an apartment building now. That, you know, that was the end of the road.
COVID made construction workers essential. Everybody else had to stay home, construction workers. So basically what he's trying to say is the developer was like, man, fuck y'all. My people can still work. We about to fast track this shit. Y'all gotta go. We about to put a building up here. And that literally was it. So we were building an entire campaign around, because now that we've done it for a year, we're like, yeah, we had a good test case. And not to say that we still didn't know that it was going to be here, but we just was like, it can't end like this. This can't be the end of it. And I was like, I honestly didn't. I was like not wanting to do the videos because I'm the more emotional one that don't, like, I'm going to say something crazy somebody's going to see it. They're going to be like, oh my God, you know. But it was just like, man, it can't end like this. And God is the greatest. God is the greatest, because before we dropped that video, we had got a call for us to, you know what I'm saying, like for us to be able to move into another space. And literally before we even fully moved into that space, we had got called to move into another space, which was Georgetown.
I want to tap into that because as creators, we do hit a hiccup after seeing success. And some people will take that hiccup as a way out. You guys saw it as a way to go grander, to keep going. What is that? Where did you draw from that? Because I think that's something keen to like really talk on, because
it was. I mean, so the developer that said, "Fuck y'all, we about to do this," was ultimately our savior too, because they, after looking at space again, we had identified some space nearby that they also owned, and we leveraged the negotiable table and was like, hey, can we just drop our container here? I got a dog park, it's Sandlot, it makes sense. And then they had an indoor space, we had the liquor license. It was like, look, we can manage this space. And that's how Sandlot Southeast came about. And then with that, the Georgetown location to me was a dream because it was an old historic gas station, and I'm all about a challenge, right? So first of all, Georgetown, ain't nobody just gonna walk up in Georgetown to get a liquor license, because you can't get a liquor license in Georgetown at the time because of the moratorium on liquor licenses that can be distributed in Georgetown. But Mayor Bowser, because of COVID, allowed for licensees to pop up in other locations across the city without having to go through the regulatory process of securing a liquor license. So that allowed us to open in Georgetown immediately, and to everyone's surprise, people was just like, how the hell are they serving alcohol? I was like, well, you just got to read the emergency order from our Madam Mayor. And that's how we were able to pop off at Georgetown. So it's knowledge, it's understanding. So when you say grander, it really is just understanding the playbook. You know what I'm saying?
Disclaimer in this for everybody. Which camera is let me add the disclaimer in this. We are learning this shit as it's happening. On the fly. So we are experts through hella mistakes that we continue to make even up until this morning, but we're constantly figuring these things out by education, experience, and exposure. Those three things are super, super, super key. There is nothing that we know or nothing that we're learning that anybody that sees this can't literally do the exact same thing. So if we're talking about the blueprint, which we've used that word a couple of times, the blueprint that we're going off of is not going to be the same blueprint that you're going to go off because you're doing something different and you're a different person. But education, experience, exposure. If you're putting yourselves in the necessary rooms, if you're reading the shit that hits your email when you sign up for it, these grant opportunities, these business accelerator program opportunities, these art all night events, these mayor's arts awards, all of these different things. And if you have 2 people on your team, it's great, because Ian goes to all that shit and I don't go to any of it. But somebody got to man the ship. But you know what I'm saying? But that's just the disclaimer. It's like, listen, you just gotta just be intentional. You gotta be fucking disciplined, and you gotta just do the fucking work. Just period. Because I don't want anybody to see this and think that like, yo, we have all the answers, because we don't. We're literally figuring this shit out all the time. And if anybody follows me on Twitter and you see my tweets, I know a lot of you guys have been retweeting, and I love that. But a lot of times those messages are not necessarily, me, because I know it's something. It's a reminder to myself, or it's something that I just figured out, or something I just saw. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I like that. And even with like so when I moved back to the city in 2013, 2014, 2013, we did Blind Wine on 2013. I moved into this building called the Lex. It's right in Southwest, and it was right across the street from DCRA. And if you have a business in Washington, D.C., in any capacity, you have to go to that building. Okay, like to get your basic business license, to get your occupancy, to get whatever it is about your business, even if you work at home, you had to go to that building. And then the Office of Tax and Revenue was right across the street, right on 4th Street Southwest. So I lived right there. And when we did Blind Wino, very similarly, there was a lot of, how the hell did you do that? And the only way that it worked is because I literally went to DCRA every day after I left Shoe City in Baltimore to basically find out what will it take for us to open in this dilapidated church, and literally go through each industry. You had to go to fire, you had to go to electrical, you had to go, and this is what everybody goes through again when they're doing building stuff. So that was my college, I guess. That was my learning process on the fly. Like, I'm not a licensed architect. I'm not an expediter. You know what I'm saying? None of those things, like Scooty's saying, we're not in that profession at all. But it's available to you to learn, to, what was it, educate, experience, and elevate.
Education, experience, and exposure.
And exposure, you know, and that's a public building that any and everybody could go into to gain the knowledge that they can, so that they can perfect their craft, and not just make it where it's about someone who's a professional to do it. So
to piggyback off of that too, I think something else to add in that is, because I know some people always, you know what I'm saying, like talk about like sponsorships and things like that. Like when we opened up Diet Starts Monday, the actual space, like I did that through all sponsorships. I never had a dollar in my pocket. I just understood, you know what I'm saying, like how to maximize on, you know what I'm saying, like those partnerships. Whereas somebody might get $60,000 or $100,000 for a one-day event, we're gonna always look at $60,000 or $100,000. You could put $100,000 into a space and be open for a whole year. So it's also, you know what I'm saying, like being able to take 3 steps back to take 2 steps forward, in the sense that like know your worth, know, you know what I'm saying, the worth of your idea and your concept, and then also, you know what I'm saying, like try to maximize based on the things that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can get, you know, $10,000 in sponsorship. Don't spend that whole entire $10,000 in that one day. Spend $2,000 and do 5 different events. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's the DCRA, you know what I'm saying, like portion of it. And then there's also, you know what I'm saying, like the strategic partnerships and things like that. But, you know, like those things, you know what I'm saying, like kind of go hand in hand when you're talking about spaces, events, and all of those things.
What's so dope though, as I'm talking to you guys are really students of the art. Like you really, like, you had mentioned in your answer earlier researching, and then you just talked about the 3 E's, and it's just like listening to you guys. The key to, I was going to ask you guys what's your key to success, but the key to success from just listening is you guys are students. Yeah. And you're always learning and researching, which a lot of people don't tap on. They give us all the other fundamentals, but that key component of research, education, that is what puts you in different realms with your craft. And I think that it's dope to hear that from you guys as well, because it also goes to show that education is very prominent to how we can be successful in our business. And it doesn't stop just because school stops. The education and the knowledge that you're getting constantly is something that's quite greater than what we're learning in school, because we're actually taking this into the essence of who we're supposed to be on this planet.
I really applaud, like I get excited when my friends go through like certification classes on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be fucking CPR or swimming or whatever. Like I applaud them, because to your point, like I tapped out. When I graduated from Drexel, I had an opportunity to get my master's just by going to school for another year. Drexel's a 5-year co-op program, right? And I tapped out. I was like, man, fuck school. I'm tired. I actually said that in my junior year. I was like, man, fuck this shit. Let me coast the rest of the way.
I said, fuck that shit too.
Your freshman year?
I never even made it past my freshman year.
I was like, man, and I just like, man, I just don't got the capacity. I want to do this. I want to make this money. I want to buy these sneakers, and that's it. But like, to your point, the learning that occurred afterwards, while it was tailored to what I wanted to do, that's the beauty of really understanding what you can achieve. And even just looking at all of the Sandlot locations, the amount of research that goes into the zoning, the liquor laws, the all of that piece are things that most people pay a professional to do. And we were already down because we ain't had no cash. So we had to learn on our own how to do the things that we've done. Even with the shipping containers and Anacostia, like building Anacostia, we ain't never think we was gonna build something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was just, how can we get creative with the funds that the city gave us and the friends that we have in the industries that we work with, and then it just became, it's just a blessing, because now it's like we're really doing something by learning continuously, and the next Sandlot is going to be another lesson learned, because that's what we want to do. We want to challenge ourselves. We want to like be able to say, yo, we're learning more. We're learning something.
We want to be broke for another 2 years.
But I like that you're also not afraid to fail.
Oh yeah, nah.
I think we're in a new realm of like how the social media world is configuring itself.
I don't think that you're ever failing. I mean, like essentially, you know what I'm saying? Like you're learning as you go, and I'm an advocate for education. So I'm not necessarily saying fuck school, but I'm saying fuck school in the sense of like when I was there and what I was doing. Because we talk about now, like we're constantly learning and studying and researching and things like that. I think that, you know what I'm saying, like during those times, I think the focus was just, we were still trying to figure it out, versus like now we know exactly where we are and what it is that we need to do. And now it's like, you know, had we figured that out in 20 or 1999, probably would have been different, you know what I'm saying? But now it's just, you know what I'm saying, like a new evolution of learning, you know what I'm saying, like on the fly. But yeah.
Let's go back to 1999. What would 2024, what would you guys say to yourself in that era?
1999 us?
Leave them joints alone. Leave. Ooh-wee. Listen.
Damn, 99 us, dog.
I would say 1999 me, I would say know your value. Like know your value. I was him before I became him. People around me knew it, I didn't, and therefore I was never able to capitalize off of my own spirit, my own, you know what I'm saying, like
Your own sauce.
yeah, my own sauce. Was never, you know what I'm saying, like able to capitalize on it until I saw everybody else, and then it's like, oh shit, and somebody came to me like, you know you can do that shit on your own, right? But I would tell myself that for sure.
Damn, 1999. I mean, I guess for me, it probably would have, like, I gave up something that I loved really, really deeply, and it was music. You know, I played percussion my entire life up through 1999 and a little bit past. And I had an option of going to GW. I had to do an audition for a music scholarship. And it was literally me having 4 mallets, you know, playing the marimba. I was very talented in percussion, like top tier, top seat, like competitions, awards, all that stuff. And literally like playing the marimba for GW, full ride to GW, but for music, versus going to Drexel and doing engineering with a co-op program, where my first year was got the scholarship for that, but then parents had to front load the rest. But at least with the co-op, I get to come home every 6 months and do the workforce or work for a company within the curriculum, go back to Philly, do that 3.5 years. And I almost feel like I I missed a part of my life that I really loved the most, and that was playing music. Cause like I see all the people, and I'm sorry I'm getting weird, cause like I see how Kanye and all of these producers are like, I wanted to do that. My trajectory might have been a little different. I love what I do, and I love my brother, and I love my family, and I love and I love all of that shit. But like, I listen to classical music a lot. That's the type of music I was playing, Tchaikovsky, Dvorak, all that shit. But like, I would have told myself to not stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I attempted to continue to play because Drexel music program was trash. I went to the first joint and I was like, I ain't doing this shit. Y'all niggas trash. I did Chesapeake Symphony Orchestra in Annapolis, doing timpani, doing this, doing that, and I thought that that was going to work out, but it just didn't. So that's a regret that I have. And I wish that I just continued playing music. So I would tell myself, just don't quit. Don't quit something that you love and you have been doing. Like when you see all the videos about all them NBA players and Steph Curry and all them niggas showing the old videos when they was playing ball when they was a little kid, that was me with the little drums, you know, and all that all the way up through high school.
Sandlot Records. Legends Never Die, coming soon.
Pop Dalmatians.
I wanted to ask you that too because there's also, I feel like with all that you guys create here, there's also still a connection base to the music scene here.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're saying, no, we definitely, people don't know this, but check the credits. We're saying I actually produced Wale's last video too. I was on the production staff. Shout out to my boy Gino who looked out. Shout out to Henny. Shout out to Wale.
I told you these are the pillars, these are the icons, these are the beacons. You're tapped in, man.
You see how he ran these waters for us? That's what he was doing for the video, Joy. He was running them waters.
I was going to send to the store.
Yo, y'all need some water?
And go get us some blunts.
Y'all need some
man, go get us some backwoods.
Some
Nah, but definitely, you know what I'm saying, like kind of, you know what I'm saying, like just tap anything fashion, art, music, or entertainment related. Like people also had to understand that Rock Creek Social Club was part of the production team that started Broccoli City Fest, and I hosted it for 7 years too. Don't get that fucked up either. Yeah.
Freaking amazing.
That's a fact.
It's so many different, it's so many different things, man. Like, and you can probably just name one thing and we're connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to do a lot of the sponsorships for Broccoli City when it was on Half Street. You know, bringing Heineken to St. Elizabeth, bringing Reebok and Trelectro, like all of the major things that happens, you know, and indirectly or directly filters through us, not on some check-in type shit, but just on some executable type shit. Yeah. You know, because like end of the day, you want to execute at a high level, you want to perform at a high level, and some people are gifted to just do it fluidly. You know, is that the word? Flow?
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
I think what's so dope too about you guys is,
You know, dynamic is, you know how they would say, what you bring to the table? You guys are both bringing lots of tables to a table, you know what I'm saying? And there's like I compare it to basketball, it's like, y'all know each other's play. Like, that's something that makes me also notice too, that beyond this is also fate. So we're also witnessing something that God destined to be together. And so we're also getting to see the manifestations and the blessings that happens from watching what God anoints. Yeah. So I think that's also dope with you guys. Of course, before I play this game with you guys, I do want to ask, what's next for you guys? Or what are some arenas that you want to also speak into existence?
So next for me individually is that I'm working on a major gala that's coming here to DC. I'm working on a major art installation that'll be my first solo art exhibition. I don't know really what to call it. You know what I'm saying? Like something, a brainchild of mine that I've been working on probably since we first opened up, when we opened up Died on 14, probably so like 2017.
Okay.
That's finally, I'm ready to share with the world. And then collectively with my brother, we're expanding on the Sandlot arm. There's a lot of spaces in DC that need attention, that need our attention. They need the community that we bring. They need the partners, that we bring, the opportunities for us to be able to expand our footprint, to work with people that we don't know. That's what's next there. And I got a kid on the way too.
We see.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? Because I saw the picture. Are we team girl, team boy? What are you hoping?
I'm praying for a healthy baby. I'm hoping for a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
We manifesting.
Let's go.
Hey. I just want to say you guys are just. I'm thankful for.
Hold on. Let's get, what you working on individually?
Forgive me, brother.
And we ain't got another hour to for me to tell y'all what I'm working on, man. But I mean, I think that space is always going to be my specialty. And just thinking about the very first space that we got funding for in 2010. Which was the old D-Dot building on 14th Street, and we got $125,000 from Vitamin Water, which is a Coca-Cola product, Glasso product, and Scooty mentioned earlier, but like all of the spaces that we've opened, Blind Wino included, all came from corporate funding. Sandlot and Acacia was the first city-funded project, and Sandlot downtown, once we get this grant,
Manifestation.
manifestation,
Once we get it, we get it.
will be the second city-funded Sandlot. But outside of that, I'm still trying to help others like Scooty and quite a few others identify space that they can be amazing, because that's the issue, especially in the DC market. Like, having this gift of communicating the opportunity to property owners and commercial brokers and corporate folk with money is not easy, but it's a gift, and I want to share that gift by way of securing as much property as possible.
Hey.
So Union Station has space. There's CVS up on 7th in Florida that Howard University owns. That they're, AutoZone on 8th Street. Like, there's so much space, and it's unfortunate that our city agencies and some of our city leaders can't see the opportunity because it's a non-traditional opportunity, but more so can't see what individuals like ourselves are doing with no support and no investor or no capital stack or no loan. Like, we look different than others who get access to capital. So we're doing so much more work, and we're eclipsing so much more value in our community, but unfortunately they just don't see it that way. They still force us to do grants and submit this and submit that, and I don't have a problem taking your money, but it will benefit us if you just work with us so that we can help each other and help our city thrive. So I remember that.
And that's a word right there if that wasn't a word, okay? I'm about to play the game, but I want to have a reflective moment for you guys.
What is this game, man?
But being from here, how does it feel to know that you have become the man you wanted an opportunity from?
Wow.
Oh man, I think it feels amazing just because I give so many opportunities to so many people. Just, you know, it came, you know what I'm saying, like a slap in the face, you know what I'm saying, one day, but, you know, I finally started embracing, you know what I'm saying, like that OG status. And I always say, you know what I'm saying, like I just try to be the OG that I never had. So, you know, I feel great being in this space, and I feel great if I was the person that I had to come see, because I don't miss a DM, text message, phone call, nothing. Like, I'm talking about from people that I don't even fucking know. Most approachable person that you'll ever meet. Life of the fucking party.
Facts.
No, that's. I mean, the most known unknown is probably been what I've moved and operated under since I've kind of came in the game. But it's like I want people to know so that they can approach and we can engage and I can help, because I think that's what's important.
Now, brothers, are you ready for this hip hop game?
Come on.
Am I about to pop out?
So I've been able to play this with everybody in the hip hop scene, and I just love to hear the answers from our black people, because we have such variety with how we play this game. So it's called either. No, it's so I call it TMP. That's the Media Prince, either or. I'm gonna give you two hip hop legends. The person you say stays. The person you don't say never existed, never made music. And for you guys, I'm going to give you 3 sandlot passes. That'll be your chance to pass on that question if you can't choose. But again,
Collective, we have to do it collectively, so that makes it a
We have
challenge.
to huddle and then say we passing. All right, okay.
you got love for the challenge, and the person you say stays, the person you don't say never existed.
So wait,
This also good to see.
say something and he says.
I mean, I'm just for you guys. I'm gonna let you guys have your own answer, but it's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah.
Will we get to see how different they are? Okay.
Cool.
Are we ready?
I like that better.
All right. Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Biggie.
Okay. They different already. Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z stays.
Jay-Z.
Okay. Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar
Drake.
stays.
Okay. J. Cole or Eminem?
J. Cole.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Eminem.
Okay. 2 Chainz or Future?
Future.
2 Chainz. Titty Boy.
Okay.
Good thing is they're not passing yet, so this is good. T.I. or Ludacris?
Luda.
T.I.
Okay.
Violence, huh?
Andre 3000 or Common?
Common.
Andre 3000.
Okay, so let me just say this, right? Because you're asking hip hop questions. But you're also, and what I'm incorporating into my response is what they're doing with their hip hop.
Don't nobody care about none of
No,
that
seriously,
shit, bro.
like comment all the movies, right? Andre, you know, Drake, you know, his whole situation.
I was in ATL.
Yeah, but Luda was in 1,000 Fast and the Furious joints, and that nigga's chilling. So, but anyway, go ahead.
All right, let's do one more for the fellas. Lil Wayne or Kanye West?
Oh, that's a hard
Kanye.
pass for me. It's a hard pass.
Okay. And it's Kanye for you?
I mean,
Hard pass for me.
you know what? Yeah, I'm a pass.
Okay, we're gonna pass.
I'm that's gonna be the one sandlot pass.
Okay, we only got 2 more, sorry. For the females. Nicki Minaj or Remy Ma?
Pass.
Okay, second pass.
Thought or not? Like, which one?
Little Kim or Trina?
Lil' Kim.
Trina.
Okay. Eve or Foxy Brown?
Eve.
E.
Okay. Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B?
I'm gonna pass on that one because that's a good pass though. I like both of them.
Yeah.
All right, now that's the third one. All right,
Was that the third one?
that was the third one.
Oh yeah, because I said, yeah, okay, good. Okay.
Lotto or Doja Cat?
I love Lotto.
Lotto, yeah.
I love Lotto. Doja Cat is dope though.
All right, here go one last one. Left Eye or Missy Elliott?
Missy Elliott.
Yeah. Watch this all, Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, these were the one, the only Sandlot DC, the guys that are creating the infrastructure that we know and see here today. Please let them know where they can follow you at, where they can find you, and how they can also join the movement.
Sandlot Records and Tapes. If you don't want your executive producer all in your videos, having the feds running up in your house,
The background.
come to Sandlot Records and Tapes. Follow us. Just the easiest way to do it is just go to Sandlot DC as the website. But on social media, it's broken down by each individual location. So you have Sandlot Southwest, Sandlot Georgetown, Sandlot Anacostia, and we do not have a Sandlot Tyson's IG. But you can find all the information about Sandlot at sandlotdc.com. Follow me at Uncle Scooty, UNKLESCOOTY on all social media platforms.
Ian I Can on all social media platforms. IANEYECAN. I forgot for a second.
Bet. And then catch them on tour with Sandlot Records.
And tapes. And tapes.
I'm your boy, the Media Prince. Shop at MLB. Conversation with the Media Prince. We out.